Cheating, lies, and shocking twists. You won't believe these stories. Story 1. Broke up with my GFF22 for cheating. Would you do the same? So I am 23 broke up with my GFF22 over the messages I saw on her phone. We dated for 3 years and I never really went on her phone, but I had suspicion that she was being shady, since she would always go through my phone and suspect me of cheating. Never did. And when I looked through her phone, I found messages with older guys planning meetups, which she said she never followed through on, and nudes sent to them for money. I broke up with her and needed time to reflect and be myself, where she told me to mutually promise that we don't hook up with anyone also. Found out she hooked up a dude 1 to 2 months into the breakup. Story 2. Cheating spouse's mistress gets arrested. I need to get my story off my chest in a cathartic exercise. I, 31F, was with my ex, 31M, for almost 12 years. 1 year after we were married, I discovered there was some sort of relationship between him and a coworker, who I knew and was friends with, after we were all at a dinner party together, and I caught them holding hands under the table. I gave him an ultimatum: cut all contact with her, or we are done. He whined and cried and said he fucked up but nothing happened, and he would never hang out with her again. I was uneasy, and my trust with him was in the toilet, but I thought we could repair. Turns out I was wrong. I needed to visit a relative 2 hours away for the weekend, and he always went. Told me he couldn't go, he had to work. I found that really suspicious, and thought he was acting weird. That night I got on Snapchat and saw his location was at a bar he would always go to with work friends. I knew he was with her. Next day I call him and ask him what he was doing, and he was lying the whole time. I know now he was at her house. I come back and confront him, and he starts gaslighting me, saying he has no trust in me if I can't trust him on his own. Says he doesn't want to be in a relationship with me, he loves her, they have a connection. I'm not a sexual enough person for him. My work makes me move too much, I didn't move for 6 years, etc, etc, etc. To say it imploded is an understatement. I asked him to leave, and he moved in right with her. Flaunted their relationship around our very small town and kicked me while I was down and embarrassed me. I asked for a divorce multiple times, to which he said he would fill out the paperwork but never did. 5 months later my MIL reached out and asked if I heard that they were moving in a week to a different state. I was floored and livid. The amount of money and time it would take for an interstate divorce was insane. I ended up confronting him and serving him paperwork while he had the audacity to tell me I should be civil. They moved 2 days after we divorced. 3 months after that, the local news had a story about the mistress getting arrested for stealing money from her employer. She was in jail for a month, convicted at trial, and is now a felon. He's still with her from what I know, but it's so nice to finally have that karma. They deserve every miserable minute together. Truly horrible human beings, and I'm so much better off without him. Edit. We were together for 11 years before we got married. 1 year married before he cheated, and tried to fix things for 3 months before he decided to lie and bail some more. Story 3. Cheated on high school boyfriend 8 years ago. This has been weighing on me for a long time and just need to get it out. I did something that I have had regretted for many years, even though it changed my life. My high school boyfriend and I dated from my sophomore year through senior year. He was a year older than me and went to a small school an hour away. We had been best friends prior to dating and had been a huge part of each other's high school experience. We truly thought we would be high school sweethearts. We both lost our virginities to each other. He graduated before me and decided to go to college at Big Party University, where he joined a frat that was known to having wild parties. Although I never had evidence, I had a suspicion he cheated on me a time or two when at these parties due to his behavior after, and some message notification I happened to see on his phone. I also had suspicions he lied to me about what activities he partook in during these times. He came from a very Catholic family that was really strict, so having freedom to do what he wanted was a big thing for him. I stayed with him despite this because I truly loved him and wanted to spend my life at his side. He broke up with me within his first couple weeks in college due to not wanting to date a senior in high school, but came back begging to get back together after a few weeks apart. We stayed together until I left for college, but things were slightly strained from that point on. Fast forward to me going to college at a small school. My first weekend in the dorms, I attended a party where I met my future husband. We hit it off easily as friends, and were studying the same major. My HSBF knew about this, and was happy I made a friend. A few weeks later, at another party, my new friend and I were pretty tipsy, and ended up kissing. Nothing else happened. The next morning I had extreme guilt, and cried for a long time in my dorm. I called my boyfriend, and told him I needed to have a conversation with him in person. He drove the 1.5 hours to meet, where I told him everything that happened, and could no longer be with him because of it. I think a mix of what happened then and his college experiences made my decision for me. We didn't talk for 3 weeks. He messaged me after a period of time. He forgave me and wanted to get back together. I couldn't because I felt horrible and didn't want that cloud hanging over our relationship. It didn't seem fair. He kept asking and asking, but I wasn't able to say yes. The final time he asked and I denied, he called me a BTCH and ASLT and said I was a horrible person who deserved to be alone forever. This made me feel even worse. We never talked again. For the next 6 months, I still was friends with the guy that first kissed at the party. We eventually started dating and have been together ever since. He obviously knows about the situation and also had guilt for his part. I took a vow to never do anything again and have true to this day, never wanting to deviate from an amazing man I have now. Despite being in a secure, loving marriage, I still have guilt over what happened. I know I hurt my ex severely, and no one should ever go through that. This was just something I needed to get out in the open. I know I was an adult at the time who should have known better, but I think being an 18-year-old with fresh freedom played a huge factor into it. I know that is not an excuse. Those who have cheated, how have you come to terms with your decision? Story 4. I found evidence that my husband just cheated with a prostitute. We have an 8-month-old baby. Need advice. My husband was on a golf trip and we worked together, so I had to get on his computer early morning. There were messages from his friends saying, "Get out here. They're here at 2 a.m. His one friend is divorced and loves hookers, so immediately my mind went to this. They were out in the country with nothing else to do. I immediately called and accused him of it all. Blew up, and then he flipped the script and started calling me crazy. A classic tell of his hand, guilty. He's making me feel terrible for questioning his loyalty, which, to be fair, he is a wonderful man and father, and this behavior is so unlike anything from him. I did more digging and found a payment for $400 at 2:30 to his idiot friend with him. Then I found a missed call number on his FaceTime, so I called it, and it was a madame who confirmed she had hookers available. I have not confronted him with the payment and phone call evidence yet. I am waiting to bring that into my therapist to help me. What do I do? Can I work through this? Can I forgive? I don't want to be a single mom, but I don't know if I can have trust ever again. Update. When he got home from the trip, he confessed to hookers. The whole time he was on the trip and flipping the script, he said they were Bumble girls for his single, hooker, loving friend. I am grateful he came clean, but still apprehensive of the truth. He said they were gross, big, fat strippers, and it was a joke that they were all laughing at his idiot friend enjoying. He said the payment to his friend is because he is broke, and basically everyone fronted this golf trip for the broke, divorced clown. Said he doesn't know how the madam number had a missed call on his phone. There were no outgoing calls, so makes me think he gave his number to one of the whores, but he says his friend must have eye roll. Said he blew up on me because he got defensive, and all of his friends made him swear to take this to the grave. We start therapy on Wednesday, and I am praying for all of the truth to come out. I still don't know what to do, and every time I look at my son, I cry. Story 5. Overwhelmed. I need advice, please. Overwhelmed. Did big mistake. I'm so overwhelmed and tired. I need help. First of all, English isn't my first language, so please be understanding, and I know that I made big mistakes, and that's why I'm here venting to you guys. So I'm in a long-distance relationship. It's been 3 years now. I started a new work, and I met this guy at work. We were just friends in the first few months. I made a huge mistake. Actually, I don't tell people if I'm in a relationship. I didn't set any boundaries. I was acting like if I'm single. I acknowledge the huge mistake I made, and I regret it. He has a girlfriend also, and he's serious about marriage with her. We got closer, and he told me that he has a girlfriend. I didn't say anything, but we got very close. We spent a lot of time together. Till one day I decided to back up since I was cheating on my BF, which is the case because my BF doesn't know about him. The guy at work noticed that and wanted to know why and everything. I told him that I lied to you, and I have a boyfriend who's very good with me, and I don't know what happened to me. Why did I do this? We solved the problem. 2 months ago, we started to work on projects together. We crossed the borders and we just kissed. I won't lie, I liked it. But still, I don't want to be a cheater. I love my boyfriend and want to marry my boyfriend. I say maybe it's just that I was lonely and I needed someone by my side. I'm so affectionate and I need physical affection. We had some issues. He told his GF what happened between us. She forgave him. I can't tell my BF, I just can't, because it's going to hurt him a lot. And I don't want to lose him. Now, the guy says that since we crossed these limits, we can't go back in time. We should take a decision. It's either we move forward and cheat on our partners, or we stop everything, which is going to be so big, because everyone knows that we're together, and it's going to affect me a lot, our work, and everything, especially that I can't change work or anything for 3 years. And I have to work with him for 3 years. I appreciate him a lot, and I don't want to lose this guy. He's a very dear friend to me, and I appreciate him a lot. But it's just I can't live this double life and cheat anymore. I'm so lost, and I don't know what to do. Because I tried several times to just go away, but it affected me a lot. We didn't talk, and the thing is that we have to work together also. I'm so terrible, and I know that what I did is unforgivable. I'm so sorry I'm unfaithful. I don't know what to do. I'm so lost. I feel so bad and dirty. I'm overwhelmed, and I can't sleep well at night. I need some advices. I need to figure out what to do. Yesterday, I told him we have to stop all this. I can't live like this. The problem is that we can't go back to how we used to be. We can't act like if nothing happened. I am attracted to him, but I don't like my position in this story. I feel like a whore, literally. I've never been unfaithful like this. I want to stop all this. I have to make a decision. I feel so overwhelmed and tired. I want to run from all this. It's really heavy on my chest. My BF doesn't deserve all this. He doesn't deserve it at all. I'm really sorry. I want to just ran away, far away from everything. It's so tiring. I need to talk about this with someone. I need advice. I have no one to talk with. Story 6. 3 years later, I found something that just made my world collapse again. I think my wife is cheating on me again. I don't know why, but a couple of days ago, I had a bad feeling about her, and I looked at her phone. I found some weird message some guy sent her. Of course, she deleted all her messages, just leaving the guy's parts. 2 days later, I checked her phone again and found that she had deleted the whole conversation. And last night, she had a text sent by him that said, "How are you doing, baby? I don't know what should I do now." She had a history of cheating. I want to gather more information about it before I confront her. We have been together almost 10 years, married 4 years. We even have a 3-year-old kid. We are not in our home country and applying for immigration. I just don't want to destroy what we have now, but the thought of her cheating is eating me alive. Maybe for now I should just wait and see what can I find. But deep down, maybe I just don't want to find out the truth. Story 7. Shaved it for her holiday? Looking for some female perspective on this one, but all comments welcomed. Am male, 45, and have been with my fiance, 45, for about 25 years with a 4-year break earlier on. We do get along good on the daily, but she's clearly not even a little attracted and hasn't been for some time. She must be FN blind, as the best I get is a drunk pity shag every 4 to 6 weeks. But I'm past the point of sulking, as that's weak and even less attractive. So I swallow the bitterness and pride and carry on, for now. And it's worth noting she doesn't bother shaving for me anymore. She just says, "Oh sorry, not shaved," when we actually do get busy. But whatever, it's hardly a surprise these days. So she goes on holiday to Australia to stay with an old friend, female, and her husband. We speak every day, and one of the days she says that her and her friend are staying in Melbourne City that night, as her friend had booked them a trailer at this funky retro rooftop trailer accommodation place. Very cool, she says. Check out the website. So I do, and it's a bunch of cozy single-bed trailers with spa pools, etc. I crack a joke or two about how romantic it looks, and leave it with the "have fun, talk tomorrow" typical end to the conversation. But it gets me thinking as I get wasted that night. Could she and this friend have boinked around in younger days and the friend is being a little seductive again? The imagination runs wild for a bit, but I conclude she'll never admit it anyway, and if she's not shaved when she gets back, then I'll know for sure that nothing happened. There's no way she'd go full bush if she was cheating. Skip forward a week and she's back and ready for the "did you miss me" pity sex. And to my lack of surprise, the sneaky bitch is shaved clean with just a little spiky regrowth. So I ask about this, given it'd be the first shave in a year or so and a little out of character. And yep, she says she shaved before she left, but from there I get gaslit and fed a bunch of shit about knowing she'd be going for a swim, even though we both know she only swims in shorts, so why would it matter? Of course she goes on to try make me feel like a controlling fucker for even noticing. How dare I question the female ways and all that shit. So I leave it, but I've never really resolved it in my mind. I do think it's unlikely any guys were involved, as they weren't gonna hit the town as such. They were staying at the place drinking, and she would have told me if they did go out. She's not completely full of shit. It's also not likely she had a threesome with her friend's hubby at any point either. 100% not her type. But 2 chicks? Plenty of alcohol and a single bed? What is the likelihood? Is this what chicks actually do? My underlying question here is, did she shave it knowing she'd likely fuck her friend or someone at some point on this trip? Or is there some other possible reason that passes the logic and bullshit tests and that a male could actually believe? Why she decided, in preparation, that a bald one was needed? Am I crazy? Keen for the female perspective. Story 8. You're a damn liar. 36 meters. From the very start of our relationship, you lied. I gave you the time and the grace to come forward and be honest. Then when it finally came out, you made me the problem. You're always so busy and set time to go places and do things with your friends, and I've left in this relationship. Have an evening with you that is it your stories always change when you tell me things, and then you lash out when I ask for clarity. Every time you go to do something with your friend, you're apparently leaving your car or her car somewhere, and you ignore me. I realize now every time she's taking you somewhere so you can meet with the person you're hiding. Every time I want honesty, he twisted him, manipulated, and treat me like shit. Is it your hopes that I just give up on our relationship to make it easier for you, cause you're too cowardly to notice how all your actions show more than your words? You can creating problems out of nothing, and making fights so you can push me away. I have conflict to run off somewhere else. Honestly, do you even know who the father is of the child that's growing inside your stomach right now? It sickens me that you can't just be a decent person and tell the truth. No one goes to the extent of making someone feel worthless and unloved like you do if there wasn't something else going on. In all due time, things do come out. And clearly, the other guy involved is well aware of me, so what do you tell him? Story 9. I've been shocked to what I saw. Cheating mother to my partner. Caught something yesterday that I honestly can't shake. I was at this random gas station I never go to, just grabbing snacks, and I see my boyfriend's mom sitting in her car with a guy who's definitely not his dad. They were full on making out like teenagers. I froze. I literally had to double check it was her, because I was like, there's no way. She didn't see me, but I saw enough to know it wasn't innocent. They've been together for years, always seems solid, and now I'm stuck holding this secret I didn't ask for. I haven't told my boyfriend. I don't even know how to. I keep thinking if the roles were reversed, I'd want to know, but this is his mom. It's not just cheating. It's about to blow up his entire view of his family. What makes it worse is she's super close with us, always giving relationship advice and playing the perfect wife card. Now I feel sick every time she texts me. Would you say something? Or stay out of it completely? Story 10. Husband cheated on me while I was pregnant with BFF. Husband and I are in our 30s, and I recently found out that he has been sexting and trying to find time to hook up with my best friend. We all have kids and spend a lot of time together. I never thought they'd betray me like this, especially while I was pregnant and struggling with PPD after giving birth. I've taken screenshots of their conversations, and I've given him 25 years of my life as a stay-at-home mom, and I don't know where to even start. Saving money is close to impossible, and I'm not close to my family. I live in Texas, and custody laws make it impossible to move elsewhere. I'm stuck at the moment with no job and no job history taking care of our 3 kids. I'm more angry than anything, and I just want revenge while I try to leave this relationship. I'm so lost. I've known for 4 months now and keep up with their conversations while they keep digging themselves deeper. I'm patient and can keep this to myself while I find a way out and get my revenge. Quick edit for more info. I'm keeping this to myself cause if I confront him, he'll manipulate and try to gaslight me. He's done it in the past. Her husband is an abuser, so going to him will blow shit up. I'm doing this for the safety of my kids and my sanity. I'll definitely get a lawyer after the blinding anger subsides. When I say 25 years, I'm rounding out as to not give specific info. We've been together since middle school and from a small town. He was my first everything, and although we've had issues, it's never been to this extent. Story 11. Is it considered cheating? Okay, so I find out that my girlfriend was talking to and trying to hook up with other guys while we are still together, behind my back. I had asked her more than once if she was talking to someone else, to which she always denied doing, and made me feel like a piece of shit for even asking. Well, my suspicion grew to the point that I couldn't stand it, and she left her phone open one night. And surprise, surprise, she was talking to the exact guy the first expected and a couple of others I wasn't, and trying to hook up with them, flirting, sending pictures, etc. My question is this not cheating? She said because they never hooked up, it wasn't. But I think it is, especially considering I asked if this was going on and was lied to, and made to feel like a crazy asshole for asking. Can I get some other opinions, please? Story 12. My girlfriend, 30F, came home with a hickey, and I'm unsure how to feel about it. I'm 32M. Hey Reddit, I'd love some advice or perspective on something that happened recently. Last Friday night, my girlfriend, 30F, went out with her friends, and I, 32M, went out with mine. She was supposed to go to a concert, but around 11 p.m., she called me to let me know they didn't end up going to the concert because they spent too much time at the aperitivo, basically pre-drinks in Italy, so they decided to go to a club instead. No big deal up until this point. I got home around 2 a.m., and she came back at 4 a.m. completely drunk. Again, no real issue here for me. During the night, around 6 a.m., I happened to notice a pretty big hickey on her neck. I didn't say anything at that moment, but about an hour later, when she got up to go to the bathroom, I paid attention to see if she tried to cover it up when she came back, and she did, by laying on her side. When we woke up, I acted like I didn't notice and just kept to myself. Eventually, I pretended to notice the hickey and asked what happened. She told me that a guy at the club was hitting on her, and, while they were dancing, she didn't notice that he gave her the hickey. She said he tried to kiss her, but it never happened. Just the hickey. She mentioned that her friends had kissed other guys from the group, but she didn't have any kind of conversation with him, didn't know his name, and he didn't buy her drinks. She described it as a stupid mistake from the night that doesn't mean anything, but she's embarrassed by it. What do you think? Is her story believable? Is this considered cheating? Story 13. Girlfriend cheated after 8 years and 3 kids. I've been contemplating posting this here, but fuck it. I, 28 meters, have been with my girlfriend, 26F, for around 8 years. We have 3 kids under 5, a house, cars, dogs, the whole 9 yards, but we were never married. In January, I found where she sent nudes to some coworker from work, whom she later admitted to sleeping with after work one night in December. She claimed she didn't really know him at all. He asked for a ride home from work. She accepted an invitation inside, and they had sex spontaneously. She has been very forthcoming with information and details, and I do believe she is remorseful and regretful. But it's so hard to know if it really was just a once-off in the moment thing, or if there's more to it. The problem is she sent the nudes after leaving the guy's house, so how remorseful could she be? Not only that, but I found out on my own she didn't fess up. She also didn't block him on SC, but I didn't see where she told him to leave her alone and not talk to her again. Her mental state has been awful, and that it meant nothing, and she didn't even enjoy it, but that's no excuse to throw away your family for some rando. She hasn't cheated on me in the past, that I know of, and she has been a great mother and partner over our relationship. This is just hard to reconcile with the image of her I had in my head before. I have started therapy and SSRIs as a result, and it's been very hard to decide what to do. Is it even worth the effort at this point? It's hard to make a decision with so much on the line. Update. I found out about the cheating on January 19th, and she went to her mom's for a week, but I caved and let her and the kids back when my oldest asked to come home. She's 7, the other 2 are under 5, to amend that mistake above. She's agreed to start therapy, both individually and together, and I agreed to try and stick around to see what that might dig up, but it is a daily struggle. I've since decided she needs to go back to her mom's Monday, while she begins therapy as soon as her insurance clears. She would have went back earlier in the week, but my kids and friends are throwing me a birthday party tomorrow, and I didn't have the heart to before that. Story 14. I ruined my relationship. I have told no one. We started dating very young, from 15F, and me being 16M. Stayed together till we were 18 and had our bumps up and down. I really didn't think it would have lasted that long for what the relationship was. However, it was great, and I should NT have done any to jeopardize that. She was perfect, and literally the most gorgeous girl I'd ever laid eyes on. She was funny and cute, and I don't know what I ever thought because I was stupid. We'd house sit at my parents' place, and she'd cook for me, and we'd watch dumb shit brain rot, but we did it together. I'd take her out for dinner, and we'd come back home to play Elden Ring all night, and then make love before we both shortly passed out on the bed. I ruined it all for about 5 minutes of something that was never worth it. After all this great stuff, it was time for me to go to uni, and I had my own AC comm flat, and I was living life, and it was great. Until my friends jokingly convinced me to download dating apps to see if I could pull any traction. It was all fun and games at first, but I was interested if I could, but being so fucking naive and said fuck it. I proceeded to ruin anything or everything by seeing a couple of people, but nothing really happened. No physical contact. I saw this particular girl and nothing happened on the date. We just went out to karaoke. I paid for it, said goodbye, and I never texted her again. Having all the text between us on my phone. My girlfriend saw it all, and us on holiday at a local park resort. She saw it in weeks later and never mentioned it and pretended we were still normal for a while. I wish she hated me. I wish she was angry, but she wasn't. Just sad. So upset. And it was shortly during this I decided to push her away and just break up with her. I delved into hard drugs. I did ketamine, coke, pingers. I went to raves and just abused my body. I hardly ate and just didn't care. I didn't care because I ruined the only decent thing I had. At this point, I'd lost all my friends, never really been on good terms with my parents since I am adopted, and the one person who showed me vulnerability, kindness, and any type of humility I hurt so badly. She later confronted me about it, and I just lied to her face. I didn't know what to say. I really didn't. I broke her, and I did, and I will truly never forgive myself for it, because she was a literal angel. I wanted to try and fix what I had already ruined, and and I took her out. We tried to talk about it, but it was never enough, and I think I K that from the start. If I had only treated her correctly from the start, I wouldn't have ruined any of it, and I will never forget myself, because I K she's way too good for me. We were meant to go away to Korea, do some much stuff, and I hope whoever is reading this never make the same mistake I did. I am 20 sitting here, still regretting the decisions I made, because there was no else like her. And there still isn't, and I don't think there will be. I have nightmares about it, still to this day. At some points I can't sleep, and my friends advise me to see a doctor, but I simply don't have the courage to share it. No one at all knows, only told them I am having the nightmares. I ruined someone who I could actually see myself spending my entire life with for attention, and my own personal greed, and the insecurities I have. I even tried to fix it, and I am still ridden with guilt. Story 15. What should I do? M28, F26. Sorry for the mistakes. This is my first time posting, and English is not my first language. So I, M28, met this girl, F25, online like 2 years ago. We hit it off pretty good, and I liked her. We were in love, and she also was talking about marriage, kids, and all that stuff right from the beginning. Honestly, that wasn't weird at all since we talked about that stuff before we actually met. Given the circumstances, I was pretty serious about this girl, and I stopped talking to other 2 girls I was seeing. The thing is, a month after we met, I had to travel outside the country. For the context, we weren't in a relationship yet, since I didn't ask her specifically, even though for the context, well, let's get back to the story. So the time I was abroad, she was telling me how much she misses me and how much she loves me, but a bit excessive in my opinion. Context, I asked her if she was seeing somebody else like at our second date, just to know what to expect. She swore I was the only guy she was seeing. One afternoon, she tells me she was going to meet a friend M of hers. They ended up going to her house. A gut feeling told me something wasn't right. Anyways, I tried not to think too much about it, but couldn't sleep all night. Sometime between 2 to 3 in the morning, I got a text from her asking if I was okay, because I didn't say anything to her all night. Next days before I came back, she kept teasing me about how she was still single and anyone could steal her. I suspected more. Anyway, so I came back, asked her out, and began the relationship. One day, she said she had to meet one of his ex-BF. They ended up in bad terms, and she said she had to tell him a thing or two. She said there was another friend of his in the meeting, but I don't believe her. She ended up arriving home very late, and we argued. She says it didn't happen anything between them. I started suspecting even more. Couple of months later, we moved in together. There was some paperwork to do with his last ex-GF, another one different. So supposedly, the internet provider told them they had to deliver the router in person and had to sign the contract termination. That afternoon, she didn't answer any messages or calls. When she arrived home, she said she didn't hear anything. I don't believe her. I called her multiple times, and also she has a smartwatch. And that she couldn't answer either, since the ex tried a love declaration to win her back, and it would be rude to answer in that moment. My suspicions were through the roof. At night, we argued very bad, to the point of almost breaking up. She ended up admitting that she slept with his friend while I was traveling. That was a betrayal to me. She knew I was suspicious about this guy. In the past, they hooked up, so I was not comfortable at all when she told me they were going to her house. The worst part is, she even introduced me to this guy and almost brought him into our home. I know we weren't together at that time, but you just can't talk about wedding and that stuff and then go sleep with somebody else. She swears that it's the only time something happened, but as you can understand, I don't believe her. It's been over a year, and I still don't believe her, and everything else she says and swears nothing happened. I just can't believe her. I don't know what to do. I love her, and she swears that was the only time that something happened. But everything is so fishy, and time just goes by, tried to get over it, but lies and betrayal is something that is beyond me. She keeps saying that she was naive back then, she came from an open relationship, and that she didn't know she was doing wrong. I just don't buy it. Also, she cheated in the past. Red flag, I know. The truth is, she changed and tried to be the wife I want by my side, but I don't know if I'll be ever able to drop my suspicions and trust her again. Should I trust her or should I break up with her? 16. He cheated, and I still think about him every night. It's been almost a year, and I still can't believe how badly he broke me. We were never perfect, but I really believed he loved me. We talked every day, spent weekends together, and he always said I was the one. Then one night, I got a DM from a girl I didn't know. She said she'd been seeing him for weeks. At first, I thought it was a mistake, until she sent photos. Screenshots of texts, snaps of her in his bed, dates that lined up with nights he told me he was just tired from work. I confronted him. He lied. Then he admitted it. Then blamed me. Told me I was too emotional and hard to talk to, as if that justified sleeping with someone else behind my back. The worst part? I still miss him. I still check his socials. I still wonder if he ever really loved me, or if I was just someone to pass time with. I feel stupid. I feel used. And I hate that I still care. I don't know how to let it go. I feel like I'm stuck, and he's probably already doing the same thing to someone else. Story 17. Boyfriend of 4 years lied about cheating. I thought he was depressed. I thought that the reason he couldn't feel love was because of his depression. Turns out he's just been fucking cheating on me. I'm so hurt, but I am so numb at the same time. I'm in pain 1 second, then I feel relief another second. I'm emotionally wrecked, and my physical health is taking a toll. Since it's making me feel physically ill, I have no appetite or desire to get out of bed. I feel numb, and I really don't know how I'm going to get through this. He was my best friend, he was my everything, and I gave him my all. He decided to lose me for weed and a girl at work, who, of course, he told me not to worry about, that he'd known only for a few months. I don't understand how they can do this to you, especially after being so committed, promising you their future and marriage and kids. I'm so unbelievably hurt and disappointed, and I really need some words of encouragement. I posted just a few days ago about his depression and tried to understand it, but I guess my efforts were just in vain. I don't know how I'm going to get through this, all I know is that I need to. Story 18. I found out that my father had another family. I was digging through some old boxes in the attic, helping my mom clean up, when I found a photo album I'd never seen before. Opened it up and immediately saw pictures of my dad with another woman and 2 kids I've never met. At first I thought maybe distant cousins or something, but nah, same dude, same smile, and he looked way too familiar with them. Dates on the back lined up with times he was away for work. I didn't say anything right away, just kind of sat with it and kept flipping through. The whole thing felt like a punch to the stomach. My parents are still married. I still see this man every week. Eventually I asked my mom about it, thinking maybe there was some weird explanation. She looked at the album, went totally silent, then told me to ask him myself. I did. He didn't even deny it. Just said something like, "It's complicated, I did what I had to do, like, that makes anything okay." I'm just sitting here trying to process the fact that I have 2 half-siblings I've never met, and my dad just kept it moving like he didn't nuke the whole idea I had of him. I'm mad, I'm confused, and I have no idea what to do with this info. Anyone else ever been hit with something like this? Story 19. I, 21M, stayed loyal, but she, 24F, cheated multiple times and blamed me every time. I'm 21M and was in a relationship with a 24F who ended up cheating on me 3 to 4 times. Every time something happened, she somehow managed to make me feel like I was the problem. Whenever we fought, she would start talking to other guys not through normal chats but through apps like PhonePe and Google Pay. I guess she thought I wouldn't notice. Once after an argument, she called a random guy at 3 a.m. Another time, she took a guy's number from someone else and started texting him. I found screenshots of their chats, and when I confronted her, she said she had anxiety and panic attacks, but she also has plenty of friends. So why reach out to strangers? She also talked to a guy from her office, which later shut down, saying it was about switching jobs, but I saw a couple of messages on Snapchat that had nothing to do with work. Again, she denied anything, and made me feel guilty for even asking. The worst part? She lied about being in an 8-year relationship before me, said they were just friends until I found the truth. When I confronted her, she didn't explain anything, just said we should break up. Later she told me that even if she marries someone else, she'll never tell her husband about that past. And still, every time I tried to have an honest conversation, I was told that I didn't give her attention, or that I treated her badly. I gave her loyalty, love, and patience. All I got back was lies, manipulation, and betrayal. Yet somehow, a part of me still feels confused about everything. Not sure if I'm looking for advice or just letting this off my chest. Story 20. Found out that my oldest child isn't mine. I have 3 kids, all girls ages 5, 1 and 3. I kept having a feeling that my oldest didn't resemble me at all, which to me was weird because my other 2 kids look a lot like me. My wife told me that our oldest took after her, but something wasn't right because she had features that didn't come from either or us, nor from her grandparents. So last year ID used to have 2 paternity tests that came back with 0% chance of paternity. I tested our other 2 kids and they are both mine. My wife, who I met in another country while studying abroad, initially denied any wrongdoing, but I got her to finally admit that she slept with someone she met at a party while we were dating. She said she got drunk at a party and slept with someone random guy. I found the guy on FB and he couldn't remember her initially, and he confirmed that it was a one-time hookup. Since I found out the truth in October, I've been sad more days than not, and I absolutely lost all love for my wife. I love all of my kids, even my oldest, and I plan to be there for her in all capacities for as long as I live. I feel like what's best for our kids is for them to grow up in a two-parent household, and my wife and I get along fine. We don't ever fuss or fight. We are happy in front of the kids, and I still make sure they love and respect their mom. We agreed that I would not divorce so that the kids' lives won't be interrupted, also so that she can continue to stay on my insurance. However, I have so much internal conflict. I feel like my wife does not deserve to be here, but if we divorce, she will move out of the country to live with her family, and I will lose my kids. They have a very good life here, a life that they would not come close to having in her country, and I fear that the Kanyas would suffer. I have zero family where I live, so if I get a divorce and got the kids, I wouldn't have a support system. I work 12-hour days several days a week and couldn't take care of them on my own. I feel sad and stuck with only two poor options in front of me. Either spend the rest of my days sad lamenting my wife for the betterment of my kids, or getting a divorce and losing my kids completely. Any advice would be appreciated. Thanks for your time. Story 21. Is it better to just mind your own business? A pretty long while back, I found out that one of my mother's best friends was getting divorced. My mother shared this bit of gossip. Apparently, she had cheated. She had her husband convinced that the affair had been going on for a few months. In reality, as she confessed to my mother, she had been cheating for 13 years with her boss at work. I was really shocked at the time. I could not fathom infidelity on that scale. Hell, their kid was probably about 7 to 10 at the time, I don't remember exactly. So it's entirely within the realm of possibility that the kid isn't even the husband's. Part of me wanted to make a throwaway account on FB and let her husband know the truth through an anonymous message, but I decided against it. Anyway, it's been years now, and I have not seen or heard from them. Do you guys think I did the right thing by not getting involved? Edit. To be clear, I am saying that I considered messaging him anonymously back then. I definitely have no intention of doing so now. Story 22. Just found out that the love of my life cheated on me for years. Hey, a few weeks ago, my boyfriend broke up with me seemingly out of nowhere. He gave me no reasoning, and he moved his stuff out of my house within 7 days of him breaking up. He erased our life in an instant. To this day, he still hasn't given me answers for why he left, other than stress from our dogs. A few days ago, I had someone approach me that they heard my boyfriend was sleeping with a girl during our relationship for years. I didn't believe this at all. I brought this to his attention, and he told me that this was a rumor and was ridiculous, so he didn't give it his time of day. He also proceeded to say that he was never unfaithful to me. I sat on this, and then my friend urged me to look into it more. I messaged the source, and she confirmed she was having sex with my boyfriend for years during our relationship. We dated from 2020 March 2025, and she told me they were having sex from 2019 to 2023, on and off. She sent me videos of Snapchat proof throughout the years of him sexting her and initiating sex. He was the love of my life. I was extremely close with his family, and I loved them. I want to tell them, but I also don't want to ruin his life. All of his family thinks he is the godliest saint, and I am devastated and hurting. I want them to know that he is a terrible person. He lived with my parents and I for years before I moved out, and while I was going to school. I had such good relationships with his nieces too. Time and time again, he told me he would never cheat on me ever. I sent him the proof from the girl he was sleeping with, and he read all the messages and did not reply. It is also my birthday today, and he still hasn't said a word. He is a coward. Looking for advice on if I should tell our friends and his family. His aunt already said to me when I messaged her that I wanted to talk to her that she doesn't want to know. Thanks, guys. Story 23. I feel like this was cheating, especially after newer talks. This happened about a year and a half ago. Me and my partner were going through a rough patch due to me being homeless and not handling it well, which made me not a good partner. I had a bad temper and just wasn't able to do much. I never took it out on her, and did all I could to bottle it up rather than cause issues. After I got kicked from another place I tried to stay at, I was in a full panic attack, and she kept asking what she could do to help. I kept saying I didn't know, so she said if there's nothing for me to do, then me and him are going to leave. He is a friend of hers from high school who openly tried to ruin our relationship and openly expressed wanting to sleep with her. We decided to take a break but stay exclusive because we wanted to work things out eventually. Once we were back together, she admitted to sleeping with him, but that she didn't like it and was manipulated into it. The new talk we had more recently, she told me she didn't really think of it as a break at all, so in my head it just feels like blatant cheating, and it's been poisoning me lately. If anyone can weigh in or give me some way to look at this, I would genuinely appreciate it. Story 24. Hypothetically, would you? Did you? Sorry if it's wrong to ask. but wondering if anyone ever said a social media honeypot for spouse that has had a history of cheating slash lying slash doing things they would literally go off for you doing. You've caught their last lie, which they still continue to not come totally clean about. You've said you will leave if one more incident, tech-related and/or physical, and they swear never again, and swear they are starting fresh and you never have to worry again. Did you put that to the test? How did it work out? Fresh off latest betrayal and on emotional roller coaster. Mind and emotions everywhere. His actions not really sincere enough for someone so set on fixing it. Want to keep things together, but cannot do another 15 to 20 years waiting on next gut feeling that happens every 6 months to a wire. Sometimes 2, depending on if I check his phone or not. So yeah, just asking the above question because I'm a mess and the thought crossed my mind. Story 25. Cheating husband won't admit it. About 2 years ago, I suspected my husband of cheating with his coworker. I called her and confronted her, but she acted like I was crazy for even thinking it, and swore nothing was going on between them. Couple months later, I find messages between them that seems like they're talking stuff, like the woman telling my husband, "I don't know if I should take this serious. I'm falling for you, but I don't know if I can trust what you say about not being in a relationship with your wife." So obviously that led to a huge fight, but he swears I'm taking it out of context, and she just has a huge crush on him, and she's suicidal, so he's just trying to be a decent person and be a friend for her. So now I'm the asshole if I tell him to leave the suicidal girl to her own problems, right? Anyway, he gaslit me that time and we moved on, but I still felt something off in my gut. A few more months pass, and out of the blue I get a call from the woman I suspected him of cheating with. She's calling to confirm all my suspicions. She says they actually have been together since the first time I called, and she's finally admitting it, because she no longer believes my husband telling her that me and him are separated. She says she's come over to my house before, and that they have had sex without a condom, and sends pictures of them together. She obviously lied the first time I confronted her, or she's lying now, but there's no way to know what is truth and what isn't. If she really came to my house, she would have seen my stuff everywhere, and our family photos everywhere, and would have known that my husband didn't live alone separated from me. So now I feel crazy never knowing the truth because my husband still swears he never did anything with her. That she is crazy and photoshopped the pictures of them together and lied about them having a relationship. Me and him have been together for 14 years, so obviously I was heartbroken, and I was ready to leave him. I even told his sisters what he did. But then I found out I was pregnant and couldn't bring myself to leave him. Now we have a 1.5-year-old, and I'm a stay-at-home mom, so my husband is our only income. Sometimes I want to leave, but not sure how I even could now. I feel like I have to force myself to forgive him, but how can I when he won't even admit it and makes me think I'm crazy? If you shocked, hit that subscribe button for more real-life betrayals.